lens comes from our age-old definition and understanding of karma, which I call the mechanistic definition of karma. Okay, the mechanistic lens of karma. This lens is based on mechanics. What is mechanics? Mechanics is pure cause and effect. Okay, so imagine, or let us say you know use a gun, okay, or you use a rifle or whatever. The moment even if you have used in one of those fairs, you would realize that every time you let that bullet out, there is a reverse pressure, a reverse jhatka on your hand, right? That is mechanics, as simple as that. Action and reaction, Newton's third law of motion, right? That is mechanics. Newton's third law of motion is karma. At the end of the day, to every action there is a reaction, that is karma. So this is the age-old definition of karma, but there is a basis to it. What is the basis you would want to, would you like to share with me in the chat box as to what is the philosophical basis to this definition? Action, reaction, mechanics. How does that help? How does that help God to run this world? How does that help the universe to run well? Yes, precisely. Nihar shares balance. It creates balance. Okay, so this age-old definition of karma, the first lens for today, the mechanical definition, is a balance creator. It comes from the principle of cosmic balance. Okay, how this balance is created? You do a bad deed, you have to reap. Earlier I used to be a very idealistic and unrealistic human being, and I would always feel, what is the need for, say, prisons? If people are people don't have the consciousness, so they commit crimes. So why do you want to put them in a prison? You better send them to an ashram, change their consciousness. But as I myself evolved, I would like to believe, I realized that even prisons are required. You know why? Because if there was no prison, I can guarantee you that there is a great chance that a far larger portion of humanity, including maybe some of us who are here on this call, would be busy stabbing people when they hurt us. The prison is a great deterrent. It is a great deterrent actually. It is something which sees to it that you don't misbehave. Otherwise the incentive to misbehave is very, very high, right? So there is that angle of cosmic balance. So you commit a murder and you are sent to prison. So you do this, and yes, fear bad karma. I am assuming when you use the word fear, what you basically mean is the energy of caution rather than the energy of being gripped by fear, right? Which is correct. So it's better to be cautious. So in that sense, it is a restoration of balance. Imagine a cannonball, okay, a large tank, a war tank, and a cannonball being shot. So what actually happens is, the moment it is shot, there is a reverse impact on the cannonball, and that creates a reverse impact on the planet, on Earth, right? The tank's energy is passed on to Earth. Now, what has happened is that Earth has taken on this extra energy, okay? But only when the cannonball will go and fall on the other side, again it will get imprinted on Earth, and that is when the energy will be balanced. Otherwise, the Earth would have taken on this excess energy. So that with falling again is the balance, So that balance is very much required. And this balance is not that there is some Chitragupta sitting somewhere and then he is constantly keeping notes. It is an automatic, innate, organic balance of the universe. It is like you bend a branch, and the branch, after you release the pressure, comes back to itself. There is an inner elasticity. So there is an inner elasticity in the universe, and that is one very, each of you perhaps have experienced the feeling of vindictiveness or revenge. One of the best ways to go beyond vindictiveness or revenge is this. Okay, first of all, we don't want anybody to be hurt, perhaps, essentially at least. But then we want to hurt them when we are treated badly. So you can find a midway. You can say that, okay, they have treated badly, they need to learn a lesson. I have not become a sage yet that I don't want them to learn a lesson. But why do you want to corrupt your personal energy? The universe has its own law of cosmic balance, the mechanistic law of karma, and they will reap the results of the deeds. Why do you want to seek revenge or be vindictive? So this is the standard definition of karma, the mechanistic lens.